but hers are the best. The originals are the best. And I mean, even what does the blonde actress from Wicked, something Chenoweth, the skinny girl, the skinny one?
Oh. Why am I drawing a blank? I should know this.
The one
It's
that
because
plays
when you say
Linda.
the one from Wicked, the blonde one, and now I'm just like Ariana Grande.
Yeah, no, not
Because
her, not her. The original.
I know.
Chenoweth something.
I know. Yes, you're correct. And they're gonna take my gay card for this arena. I swear, I just haven't had enough cold brew today. Kristen, there it is.
Go. Yeah, so she even recorded one for the We Don't Care Club. So
dodged a bullet. I almost got kicked out of the gay club.
You feel better?
Every theater kid is literally going, the fuck is wrong with him? That took way too long. There are two kinds of people on the internet. The ones building a personal brand and the ones who've burned theirs to the ground so many times, it's basically sending smoke signals. Welcome to Things My Friends Say I Shouldn't Be Doing, a podcast for the people who were never supposed to be here this long. A digital tell-all for the emotionally unstable creatives, the quiet quitters, the rage rebranders, and all the girlies just posting through it. This is definitely not a roadmap, but it is the group chat. And today we're passing the mic to somebody who has reinvented herself more times than you've updated your bio and done it all with the quiet confidence of somebody who already left the meeting that should have been a fucking email. I'm your host, Danny, strategically spiraling since the early 2000s, currently avoiding LinkedIn like it owes me child support. I made this podcast because I got tired of watching everyone pretend that they had a plan. Some of us don't pivot. We kind of vanish. Some of us don't niche. We run away and change our name. And that's where today's guest comes in. She's a designer, a writer, an artist with no label, a mother, a memory that you can't really pin down, but you technically can't forget either. She once opened a pie shop and a bar at 21, left the beauty industry with no real backup plan, took her kids across the world and never looked back. She is a one-woman archive of the things that you're not supposed to do, and somehow the chaos looks really good on her. This is Orena. So let's spiral and go viral. Orena, welcome to the show.
Hi, Danny. Happy to be here.
Great to have you.
Fun.
Absolutely, it's going to be a hoot. So tell me, you opened a pie shop and a bar at 21. You 2-year-old. In a place that wasn't your hometown. That's like a origin myth. That's not a business plan.
It was crazy. I used to work in a bar with some friends who were my bosses, and like a side hustle, I was like, I'm just gonna make some pies and sell them at the bar. So after a few pies, and people were like, oh, these are really nice, blah, blah, blah. And then my boss was like, you should actually like do this as a business. And I'm like, oh, okay. But instead of doing a business in the sense where I'm like, okay, I'm going to make pies, I'm going to sell them to other businesses or other cafes or whatever, I'm going to open my own pie shop. Because of course, what else was I going to do, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love that. It's you're not just like breaking patterns there. You're baking through them. Flaky crust, high stakes, lots of vibes. It must have been an adventure.
It was definitely an adventure, and it was a tiny little hole in the wall. It was very small. It was very cute. We decorated it all. We painted the floor red and yellow by ourselves, and we decorated our tables, and everything was really cute. But it was so small that all our friends would hang out there all day, and then we had no space for our actual clients. So it always looked like it was full. And then when somebody came in and looked to the door, sort of like thinking, oh, I might want to have a coffee here, My friends had to get up and leave. Go, get out, get out, get out. We have actual clients.
Get up and leave. You actually have people here. Oh,
We actually want to make some money.
is that not a metaphor for the beginning stages of running your own thing, huh?
Oh my goodness, yeah, totally. And the crazy bit was when we were at a point where it just wasn't working. Obviously, we weren't making any money, but everybody loved the place. So some friends said, we'll invest and we'll just make it bigger. So we moved from this tiny little, really seriously tiny, had 2 tables, to a really big space that had one huge entryway and then a second entryway and then a hallway and then a patio. And we made a movie room and we made, there was like a games area. It was crazy. First it was called the pie shop, like the symbol pie.
Right.
Called El Pie Shop, that's what it was called. El Pie Shop. And people would call it El Pi because of the symbol, right?
Okay.
So then when we moved from the little one to the big one, we changed the name to Centro Pi because there was so many things going on. And that was also a bar. So we went from just a pie shop to a bar. So during the day, people came into a pie. We had a couple computers. We had a library. People could rent the movie room. They could play games. They could watch movies. So much stuff was going on. And at night, it was a bar. But I lived upstairs. It was a house, and I lived on the 2nd floor. And my daughter was 2 or 3. It was insanity. I don't think I ever made 1 cent out of that, but it was fun.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, I bet that was insanity. I mean, like, I look back at, like, when I was that age, and I wasn't a parent just yet. I was, like, another 3 years later. I don't think I had the mental capacity at 21 to do that kind of thing.
I don't think I did either.
You're like, I didn't either. I just kind of did it.
Exactly.
Build the plane as we're flying it kind of thing. Yeah.
Like the Lego movie.
I get that. I mean, it kind of brings me to the next point that I have. One of my favorite things that you said in your intake form was that you just leave. Like, you leave places, careers, you leave expectations, and not like I need to like think this through and come up with a game plan, clean break leaving, like more like a spiritual awakening, like breaking out of jail kind of energy. Just like one day you're there, the next day it's over with, just hard stops.
Yeah, some things are like that and some things aren't. Some things are much more difficult to do that with. But I like, my family tends to say that we're having a conversation or something, or maybe we start an argument, and I always just leave the room in the middle of it. They're like, "Why do you do that?" I'm like, "I don't know, just leave." It's like, "No, I've had enough of this. Bye."
I mean, I think there's a certain sense of wisdom there, to walk away from the things that you don't think are serving you, or at the time and place of an argument to walk away from the argument and then circle back, not to bring in the corporate jargon, but I've found at times where my brain is so heated that I'm just like, I need to walk away for a moment and then come back to it later. So I think there's a certain wisdom in the ability to walk away from things, like, just, not everybody sees that.
Yeah, that's true. The leaving countries thing, for example, is like, how could you leave your parents? How could you leave your grandparents? How could you leave your family behind? How could you do that? I'm like, well, because why would I stay in one place, especially if I don't really like being there, just because of some rule that says that I have to?
Yeah, I mean, I left my hometown for various reasons that have popped up in certain episodes of the podcast so far. One of the reasons was that, like, I look like my mom, I sound like my mom, I act like my mom. Like, I used to be able to go home from school and pick up the phone, and the high school would be calling to be like, Daniel was late to school today. And I'd be like, oh, that's terrible. I'll talk to him about it. And they'd be like, have a great day. And so when my mom passed away in 2020, I stayed in my hometown for another 2 years, but it got to the point where, like, I couldn't go to the grocery store without running into somebody that, like, knew me, knew the family. And, like, would try to tell me how hard it was to see me in person because I remind them of her so much that I was just like, there were times where I'm in the grocery store trying to hold back, like, well, how the fuck do you think I feel? I can't even look in the mirror or listen to my own fucking thoughts. So yeah, like leaving places, you can't stay in your hometown forever. You can't stay within your family box and expectations. You'll never grow as a person if you stay perceived as you were perceived before you knew yourself.
I have a similar story with my hometown. It's not exactly a small town. It's Lima, the capital of Peru, but there's bubbles, and there's a bubble of like creatives, artists, bohemian type people who sort of stick together a lot, and they don't spread out too much. Okay, so my entire time that I was living there, it was always my dad's name is Salvador, and he's a famous artist. So it was always la hija de Salvador, like tú eres la hija de Salvador. I'm like, yes, my name is Orana. They're like, oh, okay, and your mom is so and so. I'm like, yes. And then my daughter was born, and then she's like, oh, you're the mother of Ana Luna. And I'm like, seriously, I'm my own person.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And it's crazy how that, like, you get tied to an affinity of like a group and you're kind of pigeonholed into that. I think that is a fantastic segue into maybe discussing Weird LinkedIn. So first, tell me about the creation of the hashtag. Let's set the stage there, and then we can talk about our thoughts on the movement and things of that.
Okay, so let's talk about hashtags first. I actually worked as a social media manager for many, many, many years. And one of my biggest challenges and dreams was to one day make a hashtag that went viral. And I tried with so many hashtags for my clients, for myself, for like different situations. Obviously, nothing ever took off. And then I came back on LinkedIn because I wasn't being on LinkedIn too much, but I was like, I need more work. I need to get on LinkedIn. Something has to give. Then, much like many people found Jillian when she started posting about being weird on LinkedIn, and I was interacting with her in her comments, and I said, why don't we use the hashtag Weird LinkedIn? And well, Jillian said, I'm not too much into hashtags, but go ahead and use it. So it's funny enough, she has this whole thing called the Make LinkedIn Weird, like she monetized it, and she doesn't use the hashtag ever, not even once. So she sort of like keeps herself away from the hashtag, but it's still part of the whole thing.
Yeah, like it's still technically part of the lore. I get that. Like I see her standpoint. Like I have actually kind of stepped away from utilizing the hashtag. I'm still obviously within that sphere. I'm one of the names that people recognize, like yours. But I see some things going on there that I don't jive with. For instance, and it came up on my podcast with another guest, the hierarchical structure that some people are trying to place within this. I will say it again. I said it before. Weird LinkedIn, in my opinion, was never supposed to be something that was structured, that had any type of here's the gameplay of do it this way and you can be part of the cool kids. It's meant for the freaks, the geeks, the weirdos, the misunderstood, the misfits. It's the Wild West when you put structure and org charts into it, so to speak. You lose its essence.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I don't really like being placed so much in the org charts per se, because I mean, it's not like I have much. I mean, I might be a weird person. I am a weird person. I post weird things, but I can't say I'm like the weirdest or.
Right? Aren't we all just a little weird though? Like, what is normal besides a setting on the drive?
Exactly. It's just being honest and being vulnerable and being not. How would you say, like, coded? Just.
Yeah, I mean, Weird LinkedIn to me was a community, and still is in my heart of hearts, a community for inclusivity for everybody, like everybody's included. And at least in my corner of that, the barometer of not being a part of the group is just don't be an asshole. You know, very few people have I blocked or walked away from on socials, period. Obviously hate people that have like come into the comments and just been completely vile for no reason. It's like, I don't even know you. It's a random Tuesday. Like, who pissed in your Cheerios? That kind of stuff. Those people get blocked. But people that I've built connections with, I think I can count on one hand over the last 10 years, the amount of people that I have like just walked away from that connection. And it has always come to light from multiple other members of my community or clients' community or whatever, telling me about things that had happened with screenshots, with actual proof. And it's like, well, third strike, you're out kind of deal. Like, if someone were to come to me in a community that I am moderating and managing, and they have physical proof that another person is bullying them, I have a responsibility to stop that. And online, there's really not a whole lot that you can do besides your entry is no longer void, and you block and you move on, and you hope for the best that that person doesn't get to leak their toxic nature further. You know, and so that's kind of how it's been for me in regards to dealing with the fallout of, I guess, being a part of Weird LinkedIn, but then being a person that's like, I've outgrown the conversations of, let's name a prom king.
Yeah.
I heard that from somebody and I was like, I'm sorry, I've been kind of busy. I didn't know about that. But like,
a lot of things I
I
don't get involved because it's like, oh,
it goes to the tie of, how busy are we? Like, do we actually have work to do? And I can see how some people that have a negative viewpoint of the Weird LinkedIn movement could reach that conclusion. Like, being a self-aware person on the inside, I can see how some people could reach that conclusion that like it's not professional at all, because there's some people out here just trying to be in high school and be student body president of LinkedIn. I've got a free resource that I've got to build. I'm busy. I don't know. That's where I stand on the Weird LinkedIn thing. It's like, I love Weird LinkedIn's Wild West. I love that people are leaning into being authentic and talking about like, I can have a really rough Monday as a person that has ADHD, and still meet my KPIs type deal. You know, that mix of, I'm still a human even if I am a professional. That's Weird LinkedIn to me.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's all the memes and stuff so much.
Yeah, I mean, memes can be fun within reason. I mean, I tell joke content to get people to come into my world, but then I'm also adding value in. Like, the jokes that I tell are also kind of geared towards my industry. And, you know, I'm not out here, you know, telling jokes about like farts on the internet and I'm trying to sell you social media services. You know, I'm making jokes about the coaching industry because it's where I'm from, you know, like it's what I do. So yeah, I think being the creator of the hashtag, it's got to feel like a little bit of a heavy crown every time somebody mentions your name, like, oh, hey, she's the bitch that started all this.
It's kind of crazy because I didn't really start anything. I just named it.
Right, you just put a name on something.
It's like I came in with my little label maker and I just put my label sticker on it. Because I didn't really create anything. I just like jumped on. So
right.
It's kind of bizarre because I don't partake in like those things with the prom king and all that stuff and the groups. I don't partake too much in there just because it's just not my thing. And I like to keep my type of content kind of just chaotic, like I am. And sometimes I delete what I posted. Sometimes I'm like, no, this is just not. I'm just gonna delete this one because this is just not. This is too much. But what is too much? What is too much? And I also think, should I keep using the hashtag? Should I just not use it anymore? And I don't know sometimes what to do. But the fact that it went, well, semi-viral on LinkedIn, just that is enough for me.
Yeah, I mean,
put it
you
out
did
there.
say that you did set out to make a viral hashtag, and I don't know
It
whether
took 7
that is
years.
a blessing or a curse at this current moment remains to be seen.
It remains to be seen.
But you did succeed in getting a viral hashtag.
Yes, my original goal was achieved.
And remember, push comes to shove, we don't pivot, we can evacuate. And honestly, some of us look better walking away than we ever did trying to like scale something like that, right?
Yeah, my butt looks great from the
back. Mine too. Let's talk about your web tutorial job. Because again, your intake form had so many cool and interesting things about it that I was like, wow, we are definitely going to have another long episode. So you were writing how-tos, making
they
things.
were how-tos. They were step-by-step tutorials for making designs with. I'm not sure if I should say brands. I'm not gonna say any brands. So it was a step-by-step tutorial. Many step-by-step tutorials for unique designs that you could do with this specific builder on WordPress. And they were
you were doing all of that until suddenly you were getting told that you were making too many like small mistakes.
Right, exactly. Because it was really detailed. Like every step you need to have a screenshot, and then you need to have like an annotation, and the steps were like 35 steps, 40 steps, 50 steps.
Right.
So I kept making like mistakes, not only on the formatting of the tutorial, but also like in the design. Like I put, instead of like percentages, I was putting something else, and the designer was like, no, that's not how you do it. You have to do this, blah, blah, blah. And her stance was that she kept telling me that, no, that's not how you do it, do this. And I kept repeating the same mistakes. And that thing, I think that's an ADHD thing, that it just doesn't click. It just
right. But it sounds like they were all really simple, small things.
Yeah, they were small things. I think she just got frustrated.
Doesn't sound like feedback, to be honest. It sounds more like
it was kind of weird because it was a little uncomfortable because I felt like she was just getting frustrated at having to edit my stuff. I think she just wanted it to be like just ready and done, and she didn't want to go editing my things.
It doesn't sound like this was a very long-lasting relationship either.
No, it lasted like a year and a half.
Yeah. And I'm certain that like mistakes that you were making on day one, you were not making 90 days in.
No.
So like small mistakes as you continued to learn new tasks and skills pop up from time to time. Like that happens. I know from having a team of people that I've worked for that report to me in my own business and for clients that like you can give somebody a task that does not mean that they're going to get 100% on every task. Like how many tests did you take as a kid where you got 100 on every test? I don't think anybody really does.
Where she didn't want to be a teacher or a mentor or a good leader, really. She just wanted to have me there doing it and not have to check or something like that. I don't know.
I don't know. Good leaders know that humans are humans and that humans make small mistakes.
But it was a little like, it made me feel like shit.
Well,
it made me feel crappy. And then from there, I was like, maybe I'm not cut out for this. So I sort of stopped doing it. So
I don't want to say something.
Instead of flourishing, instead of this job helping my web design flourish, it sort of like killed it.
I kind of want to say something comforting, but at the same time, I kind of just want to like put out a digital hex on this person too. Did you ever want to get good at that kind of job, or was this a job that you took like out of survival?
No, actually, the job with the writing tutorials, I actually really like that job because the combination of writing about design is something I really like to do. Also, they didn't pay. I mean, for back then, maybe it was okay, but like if they paid what they paid me back now for those, it would be a joke.
Yeah.
It should be like 3 times or something like that. 3 times more.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the industry. It's sometimes it feels like it's always a race to the bottom. But was there a part of you that died when that door closed,
A
or was
little,
there a
yeah. I
different
felt
part
like,
of
because she said basically, I don't know. She said, I don't think you're cut out for this. I don't think you should be doing this. I was like, oh my
and
God.
did that wake up anything inside of you either? Like, I mean, obviously that's
Mm,
hard to hear, but
no, I just stuck to just mostly writing. And then I didn't really seek out more design work. I just stuck to writing.
and I mean your writing is really good. I love your writing.
Mm.
You know, you said you want to, speaking of your writing, talk about pain, but not like healing. And like, thank you, because I think we need to see more of that online, in person. I think we need to look at pain for what it is and stop trying to make it
Erase it.
pretty. Stop
Yeah.
trying to make it pretty.
Mm.
Pain is not pretty. If it was, everybody would enjoy doing it. You know, we don't
Mhm.
need another inspirational post with like a bow on top. We need someone that just kind of tells the truth. Um, and I personally, I'm working on trying to, they say, write from your scars, not from your wounds. But I'm actually personally trying to write about things that may or may not have a lot of time between them, but they're still actively bleeding, if that makes sense from an emotional
Yeah,
standpoint.
that's
Like,
actually quite interesting that you say the scars and wounds thing because there's a writer that I like, that I love, that I read a lot. She used to be a blogger. I'm not sure what she just posts on Facebook now, like long, long posts. And she always says that her writing is like actively bleeding, like she's bleeding on the words, she's bleeding the words out. And I think that's awesome, like
yeah,
how you can do
yeah.
that.
I mean, for me, writing is very like cathartic, you know. There are things that I have written that I will never share with anybody, right? And they're just personally for me. But it's when I was a kid and I wanted to become a writer, it was because I knew that I would be able to tap into any world, any feeling, anything that I wanted to. My imagination was the limit.
Mhm.
Um, did I want to be a murder, true crime scene documentary podcast? Uh, Great, I could do that. Um, would I ever be a murder crime scene investigator? No, I'm too queasy for it, but I can write about it.
Mhm.
I can talk about it. So like, yeah, I think for me, writing is just super cathartic. You need to be able to bleed, to be able to get emotions out and evoke that emotion in another person. You know,
Mhm.
words are just words if they don't hold any weight behind them.
Yep, I agree. And that also brings me to think how that kind of writing sort of takes time. It's sort of like being creative, like doing art. I think also art is like that. Like
Yeah.
you do art through the wound. Like you're literally just grabbing the stuff from your wound and using that to make the art.
Yeah, that's your art. You know, and there's plenty of writers that write beautiful things from devastating places of pain, whether that be their own pain or other people's pain. I know everybody that knows me knows that I'm a huge Swiftie. Taylor Swift is a perfect example of somebody that can write beautiful, poetic things about deep places of pain. She did write a song called Rowan, which was actually written about a fan's child who passed away of childhood leukemia, I believe it was. And like never being a parent herself, never experiencing that type of pain herself. You listen to that song and I'm in literal tears. Because again, it's bleeding. She may not have experienced that, but I'm sure a level of empathy went into play in that writing because I can only imagine what that would feel like. And I'm already kind of choking up thinking about it. So there's plenty of examples of people that can write really beautiful, but also like mainstream, profitable things off of pain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shit, the whole coaching industry is basically write something about pain points and your benefits and put a CTA at the end.
Yeah, well, business in general.
Yeah, business in general. Pain sells better than joy.
Yeah.
That's
And
the
trauma.
hard truth. So we'll take a weird turn to the left. You mentioned a labrae piercing that you got roughly 30 years ago. Is that right?
Yeah.
Um, any particular reason you got the labrae piercing?
Well, I also got a tattoo about at the same time, pretty much the same time. It's not like I wanted to be different. I just thought it was interesting looking. I wanted to look different. I wanted to change the way I looked.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a big transformation. I shaved my head. I got the labrae. I got the tattoos. I was 17, going on 18. It's like I need to something needs to change, and it was finishing high school. So it was like a little bit of transition to like a bit of a goth situation, and then I was like, oh, this has got to go. This has got to change. And it was like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And back then in Lima, that was not something that you saw. Even in Miami, when I got it done, it was like weird. It wasn't that common.
Yeah.
But in Peru, it was like, who is this freak? And I love that. I love people looking at me like.
I also thoroughly enjoy making people uncomfortable just by my presence. So they just look at me and they're like, I feel a little uneasy, but they're not exactly sure why.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've had complete strangers ask me very inappropriate questions. Like, I have a scar on my upper lip from the middle of the upper lip to the bridge of the nose, basically, like right where that little indent is. I have a scar there from a car accident that I was in when I was about 2. And I hit that area of my face and like it split open, and I got plastic surgery at that age and all that fun stuff to like make sure that I wouldn't really have a scar. Ironically enough, doctors were like, don't worry, when he's older, he'll be able to grow a mustache to like cover it. I wasn't until I was in my 30s that I could even grow a mustache. And spoiler alert, it doesn't grow there. I typically end up using like a beard wax or something when I care about it to like move the hair to cover it. But yeah, I had that little car accident, and I've had people ask me that. And then I've had people come up to me and ask me if I am female to male transgender because I'm a bit prettier in the face, I guess, and a higher pitched voice. And it's like, people have the audacity to ask you all kinds of weird shit. And then you put it out on the internet and they ask you even more weird things. And then they want to come on your podcast, buy my merch. But like I got a tattoo really young too. In my house, you couldn't get a tattoo. It was a family rule. Like we have this very conservative family, couldn't get a tattoo. So I got the kanji symbol for friendship tattooed on like my lower hip, like right below the belt line on the hip.
Nobody would ever see it.
So that it wouldn't be seen. But I also got caught about 7 months after I got it. So that was fun. That was one of my rebellious moments, was getting a tattoo when nobody was allowed to get a tattoo. My dad freaked out and was like, we're going to get that laser removed. And I was like, calm down. It cost me $50. It's the size of a quarter. It's below my belt line. No one's ever going to see it.
Well, the first tattoos I got are on my feet, like on my ankles. And everybody would, like my family, everybody, friends even, they would say, but how are you going to work with your feet like that? How are you going to wear skirts? How are you going to look professional? I'm like, you think I care? And I can wear socks if I have to.
Care?
I mean, seriously, what does it even matter? Because it's literally on my ankles. It's not like, it's like right there on both feet. And they're not a tattoo that you can hide that easily unless you're wearing like long pants or sneakers and high socks. So it was like a lot of people going, what?
Mm-hmm.
So like I went right for it. I was like, I'm gonna get tattoos in places where it won't be easy to cover, and I don't care.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I have a bunch now.
Well, now it's completely different.
I'm overdue. I'm overdue to go get more work done. It's been a couple of years since the last time I got any work done, but
it doesn't feel the same as it used to before.
Yeah, I mean,
It doesn't feel that rebellious anymore.
Every piece that I have has meaning of some sort, right? And so like I don't want to go out willy-nilly and just find something and be like, I want it because I like it. And like the people that can make that decision and be like, I want it because I like it, and then they're happy with it for the rest of their lives, like good for you. I'm not one of those people. I'll like something for like 30 seconds and then I'll absolutely drop it like a useless toy that I don't want to play with anymore. And so I'm afraid that if I don't actually sit on an idea for too long, it's going to be one of those situations where I'm like, I really don't like this tattoo. That's why it takes me so long to get new pieces, because I really have to like it. I have to like sit on it. And if I like it a year after I found it, then I'm like, okay, maybe. But I do want to talk about other things that you did bring up in your intake form. So one of the things that I ask of guests like yourself is to have the conversation that you don't feel is people are having. And what you had specified of the conversation that you wanted to have was to talk about the We Don't Care Club.
Have you seen it?
I did look it up. I did. And I'm not sure how I feel about it, because I also feel like as a man, I maybe, if I looked up the right thing, I maybe don't have the privilege to speak on this, but I am interested in hearing your thoughts on it. And then we can go from there. I can provide you with like, some banter, but I want to make sure that I'm also following the right.
Okay. So
we don't care.
It got pretty viral pretty fast because it's so relatable. So it's just a lady who one day she said, I'm just gonna like record myself. And she created this thing called the We Don't Care Club. And she like puts on these like crazy outfits and like a shower cap and like 3 pairs of glasses. And then she put up a piece of like a paper towel on her chest that said founder of the We Don't Care Club. And she has this notebook. She says, okay, now we're gonna read the things we don't care about. And she says them like, we don't care that there's hairs coming out of our ears. We don't care we haven't shaved our legs in a year. And then she gets a highlighter and then she highlights it after she says it. And it's just, it's amazing. Like the whole act is amazing. All the things that she sometimes says I don't relate to, but like the whole act that she puts on to share the things that she doesn't care about. And the way that she says care also, like the intonation of the word care, I love it. It just feels like that. And then from there, like more people all over the world have done their own videos of the We Don't Care Club, but hers are the best. The originals are the best. And I mean, even what does the blonde actress from Wicked, something Chenoweth, the skinny girl, the skinny one?
Oh. Why am I drawing a blank? I should know this.
The one
it's because when you say
the
the one from Wicked, the blonde one, and now I'm just like Ariana Grande.
Yeah, no, not her. The original.
I know. Yeah.
Chenoweth something.
I know. Yes, you're correct. And why they're gonna take my gay card for this arena. I swear, I just haven't had enough cold brew today. Kristen, there it is.
Yeah, so she even recorded one for the We Don't Care Club. So
dodged a bullet. I almost got kicked out of the gay club.
Dude, you feel better?
Every theater kid is literally going, the fuck is wrong with him? That took way too long.
The drama club is like, dude, no.
Dude.
Unapproved.
You are not allowed to go see Wicked for good.
Ever.
Oh. Yeah,
so We Don't Care Club.
Would you recommend that we check out the We Don't Care Club? Are there
women of my age and a little bit older? Because the whole shtick is that it's for perimenopause and menopausal women.
Okay.
That's the shtick. So there's the We Don't Care Club for perimenopausal and menopause. So all the we don't care things are because when you get to perimenopause and menopause, you just don't give a shit anymore about it. Like, they don't bother you like they used to. You're just like, oh, fuck that.
Yeah, so, sometimes I don't care is literally just translation. I'm not going to perform for your comfort.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. I'm not gonna shave my legs for you. I'm not. Just I don't care. Oh my God, what are my kids doing?
I don't know. I've been thinking the same thing for about how long have we been on the call?
Like 45
I'm
minutes.
hoping that the sound quality doesn't pick up, but I've heard my little guy from time to time, like he's playing video games downstairs. I've heard him get a little loud. I'm like, oh God, I hope
No,
that
I
doesn't
can't hear
show up in
anything. My
post-production.
kids are
Oh.
yelling on the hallway too, so I don't know if you can hear. I don't know if you probably not. So yes,
This is the
I
part they don't tell you about working from home and living like the dream of the influencer of like, I work for myself. I'm my own girl boss. They don't tell you that your kids are going to be screaming in the background. Or like if sometimes you want to go to a coffee shop to try to get some work done because you don't want to be stuck inside of the same four walls because that's stifling creatively. That like some random person's gonna walk into the coffee shop and start being rude to the barista out of nowhere.
yelling, yeah.
And you're trying to concentrate. Yeah, nobody tells you about that stuff. But like, okay, one last one. If your digital life was a code file, what do you think the headline would be?
Did I put anything?
It's
I
a
think I
little
put
different than what was
chronically
in,
online since Alta
yeah,
Vista.
chronically online since the Alta Vista, which honestly, this might be showing my age here. I have no idea what Alta Vista is.
Do you know what GeoCities is?
GeoCities. Okay, yeah.
Okay, it's before GeoCities.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, chronically online since Alta Vista, which means that basically you've been online since a lot of our listeners were even posting
Yeah, like
anything.
1994, 1995.
Yeah, 94, 95. My partner wasn't even born yet. I mean, I was. We won't go there, but he wasn't yet. Well,
Wait,
I'm.
wait, I think it was. I always, yeah, I've been online since then. Yeah, chat rooms, all that good stuff.
Oh, Reina, you have been radiant, and this has been very raw and spiritually feral and very enlightening. I do allow all of my guests to do what I like to call plug your shit, because you didn't come and talk to me to not have some platform to say, hey, this is who I am, this is what I offer, this is where you can find me. So where can people find you, reach out to hire you, or just fall in love with you for your next
Like I have a pretty
relationship?
good Google results for my name actually. So if you Google me, everything comes up. All my things come up. So that's actually pretty good. My website is the first one that comes up. All my social media comes up. I'm reachable via LinkedIn everywhere. So it's oranavelarde.com, oranavelarde.com.
Perfect. And the types of work that you are open to?
I do all sorts of writing. Actually, let me just tell you one little story before I plug this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Recently, I don't know if you saw this post that I put that I said, I feel that if I am 100% vulnerable on here, it'll affect my looking for work. Okay. So like not even 2 hours after that, some guy who's an like airspace engineer says, look, I have this like amazing idea for a book that I've been wanting to do for a long time, but I need a ghostwriter. Do you do that? And I'm like, well, I've never ghostwritten a book, but I'm pretty sure I could. And he's like, okay, let me tell you my ideas. And then I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you. I told him, I have never done ghostwriting. So if I were to offer you my services, I would literally have to go on YouTube right now and find out, how do I ghostwrite? How much do you charge for ghostwriting? He's like, that's totally fine. I love the way you write. I was like, okay, great.
Good for you. I mean, listen, sometimes we just have to have that audacity to be like, I've never done this before, but it can't be that hard to figure out. And I mean, this podcast is literally the shining example of that. Not only yourself, me, other guests that we've had on, we all have that resilience in common. Like, we're all very scrappy. We're like, I may not have done this yet. And yet is the key word.
Yeah. So that's what I want to plug, writing, but also designing. Because I would love to have more design work, because when I have it both at the same time, it makes my writing better and it makes my design better. If I'm only doing writing, it's like too many months pass and I've only been doing writing with no design, I start to feel this imbalance, like something's not right, and my work starts to suffer.
Yeah, you've got to keep your creative juices flowing. I totally understand that. So I will also make sure that everybody can find you by linking everything in the description below, like I do for all of our guests.
Awesome.
So
And everything is a conversation away. Anything, any possibility is just a conversation away.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is Things My Friends Say I Shouldn't Be Doing. That is, again, the podcast for people who build their next chapter in private and drop it like an album with absolutely no promo. I will see you guys next week, unless I delete all of my accounts or join a commune for burnout or finally read that trauma book that's been under my laptop for the last 3 years. Or if I sell out, and if I do sell out, make sure to buy my merch. As always, I love your faces. Bye.
Bye.